Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who have been in my circle before, I think all of you all have. But for those who are going to be watching later, hello, my name is Shayna, and I welcome you into my little cyber room here. Recently, I went through a transformation that was spawned by the artist way. And so I decided that I would love to hold space for those of us who don't necessarily even know what the artist way is or what the book is, or like me, they had it for at least 5 to 7 years before they really cracked it open and began to do the work. It is not an easy journey, but when done in community and with done with devotion, it completely transforms your life. And going through the process the second time for myself, I stopped halfway, well, not even halfway through. Um, and as I was reading it, I realized how much I had been living my life in the new way that was spawned from the book. And now that I'm in the second half of the book, all new things are starting to emerge. And so I'm excited to share this with my community. And the biggest thing for me is to be able to do something that I can offer freely and that you can do on your own. You don't have to necessarily join any community, you don't have to necessarily do any type of paid intensive or get any kind of spiritual or mental health care for the artist's way. It is definitely something that you can do on your own. But what I found, and the reason that I stopped halfway through the first time, was because I didn't have support. I didn't have community. I didn't have a therapist. I didn't have anybody who knew what I was doing. And so for this second go around, I've actually concocted two what I call covens of the artist's way. One is from my family. So my mom and my sister are joining me on the journey. And then I have two or three other friends in the Atlanta area that I go to and visit once a month. And so they are doing the artist journey, the artist way journey with me as well. So I'm meeting up with my family every 2 weeks online on Zoom. And then I'm meeting in person with the community in Atlanta. That's how deep and intense this is. In our last meetup, there were one, two, three, four or five of us that gathered for the artist way. And just in that one and very first meeting, like tears were shed because there's so many things that you discover about yourself, and so many things that um, have to truly, truly be held and recognized by those who love you and are um, rooting for you. And I don't think that many of us necessarily have that in the way that is constructive. So, again, for me, Monet just dropped off, but that's okay. But for me, I have a lot of friends that are in the spiritual community that really have walked me through so many difficult times in my life and also the celebratory times. And so I want to also create that for other folks long term, not just short term. So the course is only, 3 months, 3 4 months, but the connections that you make with yourself and with others literally become um, a lifetime. So I am going to go ahead and start with the presentation. But before I do that, I just want to allow you to welcome your body home. All right. So we're going to start with just a 5 minute sound bath just to uh, bring us into the space together. Right. And so if you have your headphones in, or if you don't, I would love for you to turn up the volume just a little bit more. And as you do that, perhaps you take a gentle and deep breath. Maybe you take that breath from your chest Maybe you take that breath from your belly. Maybe you take that breath from your throat. But I'd love for you just to anchor in and close down the windows of your eyes. And as you close down the windows of your eyes, allow a bubble of light or maybe a cloud. Vision it just sitting at the top of your head. And gently allow any thoughts, expectations, concerns to float up and out into that light or into that bubble, knowing that during this time in this space that we are together, those thoughts are held by your higher self. And when they are needed, you will be able to access them with ease once again. But for now, perhaps you just soften the muscles around your eyes and your jaw and your jawline. Maybe you notice where your tongue lies on the inside of your mouth. And gently relaxing your throat and your shoulders. Allowing yourself to align with your spine and feel what is supporting you. Notice what is supporting your sits bones, what is supporting your legs, and allow your entire body to arrive in that space, held, anchored, supported. And as you allow yourself to be anchored in that space, just take another deep breath. Allowing yourself to feel the weight of your body. Allowing yourself to tap into your in breath and your out breath. And for just one more minute, allow your body and your heart to feel completely present in this moment. And any sensations of gratitude, peace, joy, allow them to settle in your heart, in your sits bones, in your feet. And just welcoming yourself into the present moment. Just noticing how your body feels. And whenever you are ready, allow yourself to flutter your eyes. Or perhaps you stay with your eyes closed and gently ask yourself this question. Of all the things that I am seeking, what is seeking me?
Mhm.
Just allow your heart to answer that question. When I open these spaces before any presentation or any call to a circle, I always ask the ancestors of those who are ready for their transformation to come forward, because I know it is our higher selves and our ancestors that support our higher selves in fulfilling our destiny. And so every circle that I call is a divine calling. And whoever shows up, I know and understand that what they are seeking is also seeking them. All right. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we are going to be creating a sacred circle around the artist way. I'm probably going to run and go get the book in just a second, but before I do that, I want to be able to share my screen and all righty. I'm going to introduce myself again. I'm Shayna. I'm a Mami Water voodoo priestess. I became a priestess when I was at the mere age of 24, which is a very young age to become a healer and a priestess. But what I learned about the whole process of initiation is that um, it doesn't matter your age. Some people are initiated to be healers by the time they are 7 years old, especially in Africa, because your wisdom is not based on age, right? It's based on your destiny. And so the calling that I received from Mami Wata probably started, I don't even remember. I always tell people I never had an awakening. What I did have was a depressing. So, not listening to your spirit creates a depression because you are always constantly fighting against your own innate knowledge. And so, as a young child, I was really, really empathic. Some of you have very empathic children, so you know their sensitivities. A lot of times they cry a lot, they know things, they talk to you about things that they shouldn't really understand. I was one of those type of children, and so very early I started to suppress my gift. It turned into lots of different physical ailments. One of them was constant constant chronic constipation that I learned later on uh, is developed from basically pushing your emotions in, right? So if you're an empath, you are one who feels everyone else's emotions. But if you're 7 years old and you don't know how to process that, it just goes into your gut. And so it wasn't until I started sound healing in 2017 that I really discovered the connection with gut health and being a empath or a psychic. And once I was able to release that and really speak my truth, then of course now I have none of those issues at all. But I suffered with that from 7 years old till about 40 years old. And even as a Mami Wata priestess, I spent most of my time giving to the community, but not necessarily taking time to heal myself. Um, and that's just part of what we do as brown folks. So I am one of those healers that is still and always continuing to heal myself. Um, but one of the greatest benefits of being a Mami Wata healer was and is that I can use divination, I can use astrology, I can use um, dreams in order to guide my life. And all that comes from your higher self. Uh, in Mami Wata, the water element is a aid in your psychic abilities, and it is also an aid in your wealth. But the wealth does not come unless you are in alignment with that higher self or your destiny, right? So when I was about 25, 26 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a hairstylist full time. I began to work on my business, and by 27, I was an owner of my own business. By 30, I'm making, six figures. And then from there, sorry, there's a beautiful dragonfly outside. See how easily distracted, like, oh, but it was beautiful and it was huge. By 25, by 30, then I'm in a six-figure business, but it is running me ragged, right? Because my spiritual gifts are not recognized whatsoever. I was living in two different worlds. So I had my own business doing natural hair and it was flourishing. And then I would go and be with my coven. A coven is a group of spiritual folks, just like we're convening right now. It's just a convening. That's what a coven is. And so I would go and do really, really profound spiritual work on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, or whatever, right? So I had this kind of double life where I was this businesswoman on one end, and then I was this master healer on the other end. And I thought that I had to keep those two things separate. And so a part of what the Artist Way did for me is to merge my childhood self that I had been suppressing so long, my business self, along with my spiritual gifts. And from that point on, I started living in my reality and not trying to fragment myself in all these different ways. Um, from that, it really became a confirmation, especially with doing sound healing, that our dreams are consistent reminders of our higher self and our destiny. So much information would come to my clients and myself when we did sound healing and alignment and energetic work. And I realized that a part of the biggest um, evil, the biggest evil of our society, and I'm not just talking about America, I'm talking about globally, is that we rob humans of their divine gifts, right? That we are constantly trying to fit them into a mold that doesn't fit their destiny. And we try our best to put them in a place where they become robotic. And that roboticism is what, you know, for me created such severe dysfunction in my life because we're not robots. We are spirits housed in these like human bodies, and these bodies are just an antenna for your spirit. That was a little bit of a ramble, but that's who I am. That is who I am. All right. So the artist way. All right. What we're looking at in the intensive are kind of 2 to 3 things, right? We're going to be working on it weekly. Every single week is a different subject and a different excavation. And so monthly, we're going to meet up as a group, and monthly, you're going to meet with me individually. And the individual sessions are spiritual alignment sessions, right? So, what I also am really, really excited about offering is, at first, when I first proposed this, I was going to do 3 1-on-1 sessions. And now I'm going to do 4, because I really, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, I want to add astrology to the very first session that you have with me. So before December 21st, which is when the sessions are going to begin and when we're going to begin our cohort, I want to meet up with every single person individually for a 2-hour session. And in that 2-hour session, we'll go over your astrology. We'll go over what changes you are going to be expecting in the next 3 months, 3 to 4 months, actually. So from winter all the way to spring, um, what things are going to be moving you forward, what things are going to be challenging for you, what aspects of your life you should focus on. So for me, in the artist way, I focused on my spiritual alignment and my career. And so because I'm graduating grad school, I'm entering an internship, I want to be in alignment with what actually brings me joy. A lot of times in internships, we just, or situations like that, where it's just like, okay, this is just another thing in the system. I'm a person who is like, no, if I'm going to give to an organization, I want them to be able to give back to me. And so in that, I have to find out what really brings me joy within the mental health field, because it's not a field that I've been in at all. And so I want to be able to gain something from it and be able to give something back to it as well, although I'm not as experienced in, the formal settings. And then third, an anchor and sail, right? What I call an anchor and sail. So an anchor and sail is basically a partnership. So you're going to have a bestie, or or a accountability partner, whatever you want to call it. But the anchor and the sail, someone that will really keep you grounded, but also make sure that you are sailing smoothly in this journey, right? So that's who you'll be meeting with, in between time. And I know that Kente is on here, and he might be doing it with his wife. If you have a partner, if you have a best friend, if you have someone that you already know that you want to be a part of this journey with you, then please, by all means, invite them on the journey, because the way that you're going to change, it would be, I don't know why the word apropos is coming up, because I don't even really know what that word means. But I'm just going to speak. It would be very beneficial, for you, if you are in a couple, or if you have a best friend, to bring someone who really knows you and understands you along the journey with you, because as you blossom and grow and change, they're going to be seeing it anyway, right? And so they might as well be going on the journey with you, and then being able to really solidify that bond as you transform, as you both transform, right? And so the weekly expectations, I'm going to go and get the book really quick and come right back. Do my work on my bed. So it was sitting on my nightstand. But I want to be able to show you, and us be able to experience um, what the book actually, looks like in the chapters and what have you. So week 5 is my favorite week, because it deals with possibilities. It deals with, it's the precursor to abundance, right? Recovering a sense of responsibility, or excuse me, of possibility. This is all about expansion. If y'all know anything about me, I'm all about like manifesting your own expansion and not feeling limited in your life in any way. right? And getting past any kind of blocks that you have around um, who and what you are in the world, because you are literally the creator. You get to create whatever it is that you want in this reality. But it takes a little bit of work to get rid of the 30 plus years that you have spent in one type of conditioning. And so the artist's way is really, really excellent at chipping away, right, little by little, um, those old patterns that no longer like serve you. So, for example, this is just a super simple one. I used to be a coffeeaholic because mornings are extremely difficult for me. So I love the sugar and I love the caffeine. And I love the feeling like I had a purpose, like all the important people go and get coffee at a coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? Or have a Keurig at their house, right? Like it just seems like that's what everybody does. And so I would get into it, and then the jitters, like I'm already a very energetic person. So I would get the jitters and I would get the shits. And then I would, you know what I mean? All of these, and then I would, what do you call it? The crash. And so the coffee no longer served me. But I kept telling myself I'm not a morning person. Boo, no. After doing the morning pages, I switched my routine so I don't need coffee. I get up in the morning and I have chai. It's something that I really, really enjoy. It's really good for my system. It has natural herbs, just the same as coffee has natural herbs. It has natural caffeine. But now, because I wake up earlier, I'm able to spend time with spirit. It wasn't really, it's not necessarily that I'm not a morning person, but I'm a very spiritual person in the morning because I dream so intensely at night. So I need time just to be able to process all of the things. But again, from childhood, you're told you need to get up, first thing in the morning, rush off to school, get yourself something to eat, and get out the door, right? And so I've been working on that paradigm throughout my whole entire life, and it never served me. And so now I get up about 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I can be out of the house by 9 o'clock. Right. But I feel fine. I don't have all of these ups and downs and jitters and what have you. Um, so weekly expectations. You're going to have what's called the morning pages, right? Morning pages is a flow of consciousness. It's what is so good for me because, like I said, I'm a dreamer. So it helps me to document my dreams. But it doesn't have to be as soon as you wake up, right? Like if you need to get to work and then you write your morning pages, that's fine. You are attempting to write these morning pages every single day for 12 weeks. And although it seems daunting, after the first 2 weeks, you actually start looking forward to writing this flow of consciousness down because it's going to be your own higher self talking back to you. And that's what you begin to realize. And I don't think that she mentions that so much in the book, but I wanted to mention it because it's super duper important. Today in my morning pages, I wrote down some things that I had that were so negative towards myself. And I realized, like, this is how you really be thinking. You have a whole class coming up, but this is how you be thinking. And so now it's a way for me to recognize and be mindful of my own negative self talk. All right. So the morning pages, you're going to have to get you a journal. You might have to get two. I use just a regular notebook. It's usually sitting over there somewhere because I sit in that chair, I look out the window, and then I write my morning pages if I'm not, in the bed still. Second expectation, every single week, weekly artist date. This is a challenge. So now that I am about 8 weeks into the artist way, my mom is also around the same point in her journey. My mother realized that she has never done anything alone, right? Never lived alone, never went on a date alone. She says she's interested in going to a movie alone, but she doesn't see anything that she would like to watch, which I think is also just a convenient excuse. And so I had to encourage my mom to find classes that she could take. I'm personally just realized like there's so many classes that I would love to take. Like I've never taken like Taekwondo. That's one of the things about this book that you will love is that you're going to try things that you're like, this is something I would have put my 6-year-old into. You know what I mean? But you get to be the adult that's going to go and do it. I'm going to take a pottery class because that's something I always really, really love. I love any type of art class. And I live in a really artistic town. So there's plenty of places for me to go for like free lessons or low cost lessons. But the weekly artist date is something that's just for a couple hours once a week, and you're supposed to do it completely alone. So this goes back to the partnership thing. This is something that you're supposed to do separate from your partner. This is something that fills you up and brings you joy and pulls something out of you that you can mess up or you can achieve or you can do whatever, but you don't have to feel any kind of judgment, right? I have not done the weekly artist date every single week, right? This is the first couple of weeks that I'm like, oh no, I'm losing traction here, right? I've got to call in my group and start to ask them like, what kind of things did you do for your artist date, et cetera, so that I can get um, back into the swing of doing it every single week. At first, when I first started it, I loved it. Like I was like, oh yeah, like I said, I'm living in a new town. I'm like, oh, this is a great way for me to get out and socialize and blah 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 blah. And then after a while, it was like, okay, okay, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing? Right. So I took a week off and was like, okay, time to get back on it. And so I went on a hike this week to a place that I had never, been before, all by myself. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I find that it's probably going to be a place that I visit probably at least once or twice a month because I really, really enjoyed it. And then outside of your weekly artist date, you're going to just meet up with someone, right? Whether you have your appointment with me, whether you have the time in our group session, which I'm calling the woo woo crew, by the way. So whether you're with the woo woo crew um, or just with your anchor and sale partner, just kind of touch base with somebody, whether it's through text or through chat or something, just to be like, hey, how you doing? Are you still in alignment? You can say yes, no, whatever the case may be, but just meeting up with someone who can ground you in the devotion and in the practice. Are there any questions so far? No questions? Okay. So let's do a little activity before we go over the bones of the course, right? Because this is just about when we're meeting, what times we're meeting. And then from there, I'm going to share with you what we're going to be doing at the retreat. I kind of wanted to do the retreat first. I wanted to tell y'all all about the retreat first, but I didn't. Spirit kind of moved me in a different way. Uh, and so let's do a little activity. Give me a thumbs up if you're there. And also let me know if you have a notebook with you, a notebook and pen. I'll give you like a minute or so to find one of those. And when you come back, give me a thumbs up and let me know. We're going to do just a quick little activity. Set a time. Got a thumbs up from Fawn. And Fam are ready. All right, I'm going to read you a little passage here from week 5 that I love so much because it's called Finding the River, right? Finding the River. I hope I didn't lose anybody here. For 4 weeks now, we have been excavating our consciousness. We have seen how often we think negatively and fearfully, how frightening it has been for us to begin to believe that there might be a right place for us that we could attain by listening to our creative voice and following its guidance. We have begun to hope, and we have feared that hope. The shift to spiritual dependency is a gradual one. We have been making this shift slowly and surely. With each day, we have become more true to ourselves, more open to positive. To our surprise, this seems to be working in our human relationships. We find we are able to tell more of our truth, hear more of other people's truths, and encompass a far more kindly attitude toward both. We are becoming less judgmental of ourselves and others. How is this possible? The morning pages, a flow of stream of consciousness, gradually loosens our hold on fixed opinions and short-sighted views. We see that our moods, views, and insights are transitory. We acquire a sense of movement, a current of change in our lives. This current, a river, is a flow of grace moving us to our right livelihood, companions, and destiny. Dependence on the creator within is really freedom from all other dependencies. I'm going to say that again. Dependence on the creator within, dependence on the creator within is really freedom from all other dependencies. Paradoxically, it is also the only route to real intimacy with other human beings. Freed, freed from our terrible fears of abandonment, we are able to live with more spontaneity. Freed from our constant demands for more and more reassurance, our fellows are able to love us back without feeling so burdened. We have listened to our artist child within. It has begun to feel more safe. Feeling safe, it speaks a little louder, even on our worst days. A small positive voice says, you could still do this, or it might be fun to do that. So the activity that I would love for us to do, this is week 5, my favorite week, is to please, please, please label your notebook. Number it from 1 to 15. Actually, let's do 1 to 9. 1 to 9. And we're going to free write. One of the best ways we can evade our censor, it says in the book, is to use a technique of speed writing. Because wishes are just wishes, they are allowed to be frivolous. We're going to do a wish list exercise. As quickly as you can, finish the following phrases. From 1 to 9, I wish. I'm going to fill this out in the book, right? So if you buy the physical book, you can write right inside the book. I know it's fuzzy. Sorry. I wish, right? I wish. I'm going to play music and just for 2 minutes, we're going to write our wishes. About 30 more seconds for 9 wishes. Seconds. Fawn, do you want to pick a random wish that you'd like to share?
Hmm. Hmm. I wish that I did not have to work.
You know the girls say now, honey, you just gonna pay, you gonna get paid to just be you.
Right.
You gonna get paid to just be you. I will say to help you with this wish and to know that the wish can definitely come true. When I had my salon for a decade, I never felt like I worked. Not one day. Like I couldn't believe I really couldn't believe my own life, if that makes sense. So you definitely can get paid for just 100% being you because I absolutely loved it. I love going in every day and seeing my clients. I used to go on vacation and be excited about like who I got to tell about my vacation once I got off vacation because of my schedule was already set because my clients would, pre-book me or whatever. And so you can truly create your own reality around what work really means and what that looks like. Um, I have a friend now who is transitioning from um, she's transitioned in her life like through 3 different careers. And so now she's saying that either this is the third career or the fourth career. I'm not really sure. But she basically creates an avatar for the new career and the new timeline. And then she steps into that reality. She even, like, right now, she's going through like the grieving period of her old reality. And now she's about to step into her new reality. And we talk about work a lot because she is going from starting one business in 2020 to starting another business in 2025, 2026, actually. Um, and so in that, she gets to create whatever it is that her everyday life looks like now. So it's like if you don't want to work, then create a reality or a routine every single day that you can begin to love that literally does not feel like work. I guess it was like Oprah or somebody who said that, like, if you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life. And as a human testament to that, it definitely has felt like that for most of my adult life. Um, but again, that's from deep work, lots of spiritual alignment, lots of ancestral readings, because money can get in the way, other superficial things can get in the way. And you begin to think that you're trapped in a certain thing and you're just really not. You know what I mean? It's just that you just keep choosing the same thing over and over and over again. Um, and so with the spiritual readings that I would get and the ones that I still do to this day, it helps folks to move past that and to make the choices that's really aligned so they don't feel like that they're working. Um, so yeah, that is a wish that can 100% come true. Uh, you could also win the lotto. I don't even know if winning the lotto would make you not work for because you're so purpose driven. So you'd be like, I got the money and now I'm starting another nonprofit so that I can give the money away so that my community can have it. Like, look, I got a heart. I knew it. So I was like, I know you enough to know that that's what you would do. Um, Kente, did you write down any of your wishes you want to share? No, don't sound like it. Okay, so we are going to move into what this course and what the intensive will actually entail and what the meeting dates and what have you are. All right. So December 21st, that's when we are popping off. That's when we have our very first uh, woo woo crew meeting. That's what I'm calling it. I am going to keep our last circle intensive. I didn't keep our woo woo crew growing, and I want to be able to keep this crew going from this forward. To really, Fawn, you had talked about this before too, of like, where are the people at? Where's the community at? And so um I want to be able to keep our woo woo crew together, even post the intensive, and so that we can continue to talk and chat and be there for each other, because it really does create a good space for you to share what your dreams have been, like prophetic dreams that you're having, or dreams that you don't understand, sightings, like when you see dragonflies and you just want to understand what it means. Just for those of us who are empaths, and there's the universe is such a mystery, you know what I'm saying? It's such a mystery. So it's great to have folks to bounce things off of, and folks who are different spiritual traditions as well. So that you can see, okay, I do this like this in my tradition, but how do you do it in your tradition? I practice both traditional African religion, but I also practice Buddhism. Buddhism was my first love. African tradition was a calling from my ancestors, right? But the Buddhist tradition is what gave me peace. So some people want to know what it is to, have mantras, or to go deeper into meditation or what have you. And that's something that I would be able to add to the group. Everybody has some type of specialty that they can add to the group to be able to answer um, spiritual and intuitive questions. All right, so December 21st is our very first time. Then we're going to go again in January, right after Martin Luther King, or around Martin Luther King Day. In February, we're going to go to 222. So I'm excited about that. I wonder what kind of portals we're going to open for that. And then March, we are actually convening the week of the equinox. So we start at the winter equinox, and then we are ending at the spring equinox. And this was extremely intentional from spirit. So December 21st, if you don't know or you didn't know, is what we call the winter solstice. It is also what folks call Christmas time. And it is when the sun, right, the sun, which in Christianity is Jesus, comes and is born to the earth. They got that symbolism because this is when the sun comes back into the earth's, or the earth is orbiting the sun in a certain way, that now our days are going to become longer. And so we get more sunlight throughout the day. So although it is the first day of winter, this is the time that the sun returns to earth. But this is for all of us a very deep winter within, as my friend Latoya says. This whole year has been so deeply transformative, that I actually thought that Trump was going to be somehow ousted, when we voted this last time. It was just so weird to me, because I was like, hasn't he been the president for 4 years? Like, oh no, he was the president 4 years before, or 2 years, whatever it was. Yeah, the 4 years before. And now, so it's just like, it's just so like living, you feel like you're living in some type of parallel universe. So this is a great time to do the artist way, because the sun is returning, you're experiencing a true winter within, and you are asking to be rebirthed during the springtime, right? So these are very, very important, because these are kind of your first steps in really understanding cycles and alignment with nature. That's super duper important for us as we move into the age of Aquarius, that we're not forcing ourselves or pushing ourselves against systems that do not align with our natural body's way of flowing with nature. We are not separate from it, we are one with it. And so being able to do an activity like the artist's way and start it on a day that the sun comes back to earth, that we're able to kind of go within ourselves and understand and excavate what it is and who we really are, and then emerge brand new in the spring, right? That's what the whole resurrection of Christ is all about. So most likely this is going to be probably during the time of Ramadan. It's probably going to be during the time of Easter and Lent and all of those things. And so you're going to be able to be in sacred ceremony with those who you have built a strong community with, excuse me, um, during the retreat. You're actually going to get to touch and agree during spring when we're all coming alive. But you're also starting spring as your own personal new year, right? So in December 21st, when you're first starting, everybody is going to be setting up all of their intentions that they're going to possibly and most likely fail at by March. You're not going to have that issue because you're not going to be setting up false promises for yourself to break. You're going to be starting a deep devotion with your own inner alignment and your own inner spirit. Um, and so, because of that, there's literally no way for you to become or for you to not show up in spring as a brand new being. And like I said, I did this book years ago, right? And getting all the way to chapter 5, I totally realized like everything about this I have kept in my life. It was not something that I dropped off. I didn't realize that I got it from the Artist's Way. I thought I was just fabulous, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, oh no, the Artist's Way did this for you. This is why you changed how you woke up in the morning. This is why you do more and more adventurous things. This is why you were so brave to move to another country and then be able to move to Asheville, North Carolina, a place you had never even really visited, you know what I'm saying, maybe once, twice prior to ever actually permanently living here. Um, and both of those times were like for one day, right? um, and so as you go through the entire 12 weeks, although it seems like a short amount of time, it stays with you forever. And this is the reason that it was so important for me to do this at this time of the year, because I hate people going into the new year and being like, I'm going to lose 15 pounds, or I'm going to stop smoking, or I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, as soon as February, whatever hits, they're taking, you know, another puff of their cigarette. You know what I'm saying? So um, instead of saying that I'm not going to smoke, what the Artist's Way does is excavate why it is that you were smoking in the first place and what relief you're looking for in the smoking that you've most likely traded, right? So what you really wanted to do, most likely you started to smoke instead. And so what it does is reverse that for you so that the smoking doesn't become a craving. You start to crave your truest self and your highest self. Hope that was our free writing exercise. Wrong order. All right. This is a week by week outline, right, of what we will actually be going through and what you'll be looking at. So I was showing you the book, and now I'm going to just go through every single week, and kind of what you can expect. I'm going to go through it really briefly. Don't worry about knowing all the things on here. Once you get the book, hopefully you'll get it on audio book as well, and it breaks all of these things down as well, so you would just be able to look at it and see what you'd be looking at from week to week. So week 1, you're just starting. Awakening your creative self is just the introduction to all of the things. Week 2 is when it really hits. It's when you really start to hit, because that's when you start to listen to your inner voice. Week 3, you begin to play and give yourself permission to be exactly who you are. Week 4, build your courage and your trust. Facing your fear of failure is a really big thing, and trusting your intuition. And then we get to week 5, right? So you see how because I'm an intuition person and all about teaching people how to get in touch with their psychic gifts and what have you, like this is the reason that number 5 is so good, because she's already gone through this whole thing around your imagination and trusting your intuition and listening to your own inner voice and not, shying it away. So week 5, I identity and authentic expression. Who are you? Let go of comparisons. And then creativity and spirituality is week 6. Week 7, abundance and receiving, which we love. Receiving is it's a week. Let me just say, it is very, very eye-opening and very inspiring, because she shifts you, as you can see, she shifts you from scarcity to abundance mindset. But again, she's built you up, you know what I'm saying, from that point. And again, we've we will probably be meeting somewhere around this week as well in month 2. And then week 4, boundaries and protection. Changed my life. Boundaries and protection. I realized I was the toxic one because I was the one that was always giving my last. And so putting boundaries and being able to say my boundaries was probably one of the hardest things that I'd ever done, but I never changed it. It just kept growing and growing from here. Week 9, compassion and forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for the things that you think that you made a mistake or ways that you maybe didn't show up for yourself. And then we're going to have that group support for vulnerability and being able to be held and knowing that none of us are perfect. Risk and adventure is week 10. Week 11, resilience and commitment. Again, going back to that devotion and staying true to who and what you are. And then week 12 is the celebration week. Um, Final creative expressions, creating an artist manifesto. And then we have our closing ritual and celebration, which will be on the mountain. Earth and sky dwellings. So this is our rest reunion, right? Fawn, you have been here because I drove you up the mountain to see this beautiful, beautiful place. I'm going to click here so you can see. Fawn, I don't think you ever saw the website, but this is where we'll be staying. As you can see, there are little tiny houses. This is the actual view, which I absolutely love. These are some photos. So this here is a what I call a glamping. So there is a what looks like camping here, but then underneath this house, you kind of go around here, and then underneath there's a whole house so that you can stay in. There's a Wizard's Hollow castle. There is a spaceship. There's just different tree houses. So, and then there's what they call the Mystic Village. So the Mystic Village is what I call the Harry Potter Village. You can also choose one of these. It is completely up to you to book your lodgings, and that is on purpose. The reason that I decided to do it this way is because all of us are book readers and all of us are creatives. And so it's so freaking cool to be able to pick a magical place that you may have only dreamed of in your childhood and be able to stay in it for the weekend. I'll provide you with all the food. I'll have a tiny cabin up there. We'll all gather in my space to be able to eat and enjoy one another. But your space is your own. And that's another reason that I encourage you to have a partner, because both, you can get with your partner and be able to stay in one cabin together. They're very, in my opinion, inexpensive. They're about $400 per night. So if you put 2 people in the cabin, then you're basically spending $400 to stay in like these really, really cool and imaginative bookworm type spaces. If we can look at these dwellings again. All right. So, for example, this dragon's knoll here is literally underground. As you can see, he's walking down here and then he goes underneath. I accidentally almost walked into this one time because I didn't realize that it was a tiny house, that's like underground, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely enchanting. And then on your bed, your view is of the mountain, completely unencumbered by anything. We do have bears in Asheville, so you might want to look out for those, but I don't think many of them are coming up that high up the mountain. So you wouldn't have too much to worry about, but it is absolutely beautiful to stay there. Again, I picked this location because we're all book readers. This is a book club. And this deals with our imagination. Someone imagined 20, literally, there's 20 different choices of spaces that you can live, and they're all just based on fantasy or books that we've all read. And then there's a few of them that just look like regular suburban homes or, cute little cabins or what have you. But to be able to pick a place and totally just live out a storybook fantasy, it's just magical. It's absolutely magical. Any questions about that?
The partner that you pick, does that person have to like come to any of the sessions, or is that how you
Well,
feel
we
like
can
you can?
discuss it, but it would be great if the person that you picked came to the sessions. I offered
Mhm.
Kente for him to bring his partner if he wanted to, and come to the sessions together. Um, and that's something that we can discuss privately if that's what you want to do. Just to adjust the price point so that you wouldn't necessarily have to pay for two people. But if you want someone to come that isn't a part of it, then yeah, they're absolutely more than welcome. But some of the spaces that we would have, with just, our group, I would just have to define those, you know what I'm saying, for us so that folks are like, well, who is this? You know what I mean? Because Black folks is always like, who all coming? You know what I mean? So at some point, if they don't come to the sessions, then we are going to have to, introduce them to the group, and then kind of decide where when we do group activities. So, for example, when we go to the waterfalls and stuff, absolutely they can come, right? But if we have a sacred circle where we're being really, really vulnerable during our time together, maybe during lunch or something like that, then that wouldn't be something that they would be included in. That makes sense?
Yes, yes. And do you have to have a partner?
No, if you don't have a partner, the way I set it up, there's going to be at the maximum 10 people that come. And so if there's an odd number, then I'm going to be that person's friend. I'm going to be that person's like anchor person. So let's say there's 7 people and so it just doesn't come out, you know what I'm saying, perfectly, then I would be that extra person. If it comes out evenly, then I'll be able to assign somebody to everybody. Any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
See, yeah, my bad. I'm just slow with the technology today because when you asked the question about the nine,
Oh,
um,
yes.
I was fiddling the phone, wasn't in the room. But anyway, long story short,
I get it.
yeah,
Like click on the draw. Like what is it?
right, yeah, I'm just getting it too late. But yeah, okay. I'm here. I'm here.
You here? Okay.
Hey,
Did
hey.
you do the 9?
Yeah, I did. I did.
You want to share
Um,
any of them?
yeah, well, one, I'll share this one because it came to me earlier, but resolve. Um, and a lot of what you was talking about, is how I feel about it. It's just time to move on and do the work, so to speak. Really, really dig in,
Mm,
and the time period, from the winter solstice to yeah, just everything's just so in sync and
mm.
resolve. Is and for me, it's like okay, let the other stuff go. Just
Oh,
get to work. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's just get to work. And it ain't and it's just be, you know what I'm saying? It's just go ahead. Just
yeah,
be, do, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like use your imagination
yeah,
properly,
yeah.
like just envision it and you know what I'm saying? You want
Yeah,
it,
and then
go.
one foot in front of the other. Yeah,
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 just go. Just
yeah.
go. But yeah.
I love a wizard that don't want to be a wizard, honey. I feel like that's my claim to fame. Like meet wizards who be like, but I don't be doing magic. And that's you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why for me, I just have to resolve to just come on. All right,
Yeah.
just go ahead, man. Just do the work.
So
It'll
funny
make it'll be
story.
easier.
One that I never shared with you personally was I think it was in 2020 or 2021, but it was
Hmm.
before Mama Zogbe passed away.
Yeah.
I I have no idea because I thought I was doing the things, but I wasn't really doing the things, blah, blah, blah. And I
Hmm.
literally had to stand in front of the mirror and say, this is what a mommy walks a priestess looks like.
Yes.
And like everything changed from there. Like I literally just stood in my own full length mirror in my, in my bedroom. There's like the ones that
Yeah.
are around the closet. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, I never looked back. Like I had no hesitations about my
Yeah.
magic. I had no hesitations about who I was, but I did actually begin to build from truth, I guess.
Yeah. For
Yeah, I had to
sure.
build from truth. But I was extremely scared of myself from
Yeah.
my whole life. Extreme.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I definitely understand how you feel about like, well, I can put all these other things in front of it because I'm so scared about the immense power that I actually hold, and all the knowledge can say that you have is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
I got all the knowledge of it, but then to actually put it into place means that my whole fucking shit just like, because it's
Yeah.
alchemy.
Yeah. That's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's
you
it.
didn't know.
That's it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I
Yeah.
get it. It's not an easy road. Again, if you don't sign up, please just do the book. Just do the book.
Yeah.
Just do the book week by week. Go through it. You're gonna get, like I said, kind of push back, on some weeks. Like you might spend 2-3 weeks on just one week because you have so
Hmm.
much resistance around that thing. Because that's how
Yeah.
week 5 became my favorite week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had so much issue and problem with the river. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
I don't want to be
Right.
in control. You
Right.
telling me about a fucking river? Like what? Black people don't do
How deep is
that.
it?
You know? So yeah, I get it. I 100% get it. And it does take devotion to really uh to stay listening to your higher self. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it definitely. And they be so when you first do it, the voices be so, at first they are loud because you're so used to resisting them. And then when you're not
Hmm.
in resistance anymore,
Hmm.
that shit get real soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
like, did I lose it? Like what?
Right.
Because they're like,
Yeah.
oh no, you can hear me now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You should be straight. And be like,
Right.
oh, okay, got it. And it becomes,
Right.
where your antenna gets more and more, you know what I'm saying, in tune, but you had to like let go of all of that stuff
Hmm.
to move it forward.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, that
Absolutely.
resolve, whew, that resolve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your wish shall come true. So just like Fonz,
Yes, ma'am.
your wish will come true because it is, what you're seeking is seeking you always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I think this is the end. Oh, yes. So this is a schedule. I could send y'all this slide. It basically tells you that, you arrive in Asheville. Prayerfully, you are either driving or flying in. And once you get here that evening, we are going to do a nice little evening sound bath. When you fill out your registration form, which comes after after you sign up, in the registration form, it asks you about plant medicine. I'm always about using plant medicine in our journeys because plants are healing. And so for the retreat, it is going to be optional for you to take any, herbal medicines that you would like to journey with, especially during the sound baths or during hikes. I will say that psilocybin is amazing during a hike, a waterfall, because the waterfall literally looks like, the picture on the left. Um, and then THC is wonderful for the sound baths to get clarity and to allow your mind just to ease off, or CBD, either one, just to allow that tension to move away. So just know that those things are always welcome. And if you need them because you cannot travel with them, then you'll just have to let me know and I will make sure that they are there for you in the dosage and everything that we discuss most likely during our private. And then Saturday, which is our full day, this is another thing I'm really excited about, is having a half day silent retreat, because many of us don't know what it's like to even be silent for, more than a couple of hours. And I'm not talking about sitting in a meeting and just being silent. I'm talking about really listening to yourself, really listening to nature, really allowing yourself to not feel pressured by time and space and just allow yourself to float out. We did a big silent um, portion during the last, excuse me, during the last retreat. And it was actually kind of hard to bring people back from the silent part of it. Like once they got going, we were out there by the lake, folks started journaling, you're not, listening to music or anything like that. And everybody just kind of got in the groove. And I had to like physically go and be like, okay, y'all, it's time to come back. Let's go eat. Let's, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wake up in silence, and then be silent all the way to lunch time. And then after lunch, after we broken the silence and everything, is when we're going to go for our waterfall hike. After the waterfall hike, we're going to come together again for dinner and, of course, a sound bath. And it'll be option for you to rest or stargaze because you're going to be out there in the big, huge open sky. All right. Do you have any questions for me before we head out?
I don't have any questions. But
Okay.
but at some point I will. But as of right now, no, I don't.
Huh?
As of right now, no, I don't.
Okay. Cool beans. There was a form that I had in our chat that goes over everything again. Let's go ahead and pull that up whenever you feel the need to. Um, Also, right after this, I'm going to put this in the little YouTube and send it out to everybody who signed up. A few people had to drop off, some couldn't even attend. So I'm going to send it to all of them as well. There is an additional early bird. So I lowered the price to 1,800. And then on the sheet here, there's another 15, I think, percent discount code on there. I think it's 15% discount code. The code is freedom. So whenever you decide to sign up, you can use that code at any point. The early bird is only going to December 1st. When you sign up, there are two choices. You can pay in full or you can pay for a payment plan, but the prices are exactly the same. So I didn't do like, oh, the person pay in full, they get a cheaper rate or whatever the BS. Like, that's stupid. So either one, you're going to get the discount. The prices are the same, but December 1st, I moved the price up to 2,200, I think, because it was on the early bird for 2,000. And so I'm going to move that up. You can still use a 15% discount at whatever time. That's not necessarily going to expire, but the 1,800 plus the 1,500, you know what I mean? It keeps on lowering your price. So you have until the 1st for that. And so if you have any questions, my information is on that sheet as well. And you can schedule a one-on-one, like just phone call or video call with me. Like I said, I would love for you to sign up early so that we are able to get in that deeper reading for you. I'm really, really excited about the astrology of it all for each person individually. So doing the astrology along with the sound bath readings, along with intuitive readings. I might throw in some I Ching readings, which is a lot like an Ifa reading. I do those once or twice a month for myself, and they're always really, really, really profound and deep. And I can never like publicize them because they're long. So most people are not going to stay for the whole entire thing. And it's just like Ifa, it speaks in parables a lot. So it can be kind of hard to interpret. And I sometimes have to go into a deeper place to even understand what they mean my dang self. So with that, the Google form is going to give me, I think, most of the information outside of your birthday, I think. So I'm gonna need probably a, oh wow, let me put that in there. But I do these forms late at night, so who knows? So yeah. And if you know anybody who would like to join, you're going to be able to send them the video so that they can get the information, or you can send them the overview sheet to give them some ideas of what they would be joining for. And I think that's it. I think that is all. So if there are no other questions, I will let y'all go so you can eat lunch or whatever it is that you need to do. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you, Shane.
You are welcome. You are welcome. I'm glad you came back for the second round. The first
Yeah.
round, my dang computer was not like, I saw so many typos. Like it was just like I was
Oh, no.
I was like, I could not get my computer, like my computer's mouse wouldn't act right, like nothing would
Uh,
go right. And then today is Mercury retrograde. Mercury
mhm.
retrograde are like my most luckiest times.
Yeah.
So I knew, I was like, oh, this class gonna go better. Like
Nice.
all my technology gonna work. Like, and it did. Like everything just
Hey,
flowed
it's
just
smooth.
so, yeah. I was like, okay.
It was smooth.
Yeah. I was like, thank you so much for Mercury retrograde hitting on the day that I need to do this, because everybody else
Right.
has like horrible situations, but like everything always works for me. I have good luck. I always get money.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah, it's the opposite for me than everybody else, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. But I've been
Yeah.
tracking that mug for some years now to see.
Hey, and
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same every time.
Yeah. Like you know how they be like proof is in the pudding? Like my
Right,
spirituality is
right.
practical as fuck. Like I don't fuck
Yeah,
around with astrology if that shit wasn't gonna work. And then once I saw
right.
that astrology is the same thing as an EFI reading, I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
Shit. You telling me I done been paying $200-300 like every 3-4 months to get a reading? And
Mm,
literally
mm,
the
mm.
same thing that they intuit and divine is the same thing that's in my astrology chart.
Yeah.
Man, I said,
Wow.
these spirits be knowing, honey. They know. They was like, we try to help you.
And
You be
so
believing
you
in the
said,
wrong thing,
right.
American.
So you said you do it twice a month. Like
I do the
what
I
determined?
Ching twice a month. So I do the I Ching in the
Uh,
full moon and the new moon. And I do
got you,
those
got
just because I don't like doing the whole month because it's just too much in my brain. You
you.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? To try to keep going back and being like, okay, what they say, what was the theme, what was this, and that. Um,
right.
and so I just do it because it's every 2 weeks, basically. It's just something that keeps me on point every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You
nice.
know, whether or not I care about the moon or not, that part is not my concern. I just like need something to
Yeah,
be on track. So
right, right.
that's why I
Yeah.
use it like that.
And that's
But
a good
yeah,
way to track it. Yeah.
yeah, because when I would do tarot readings for myself, like when I do tarot readings for the collective, they're always really good. When I do
Hmm.
tarot card readings for myself, it's too much about my subconscious mind. And then they
Mm-hmm.
stop reading me and they start reading the other people. So like
Mm,
literally can say like I would read and be like, huh, okay, and see how the day goes. And it would literally
yeah.
tell me what was gonna happen with other people.
Mm,
And so I was
mm,
like, yeah, I don't think I like tarot. I think tarot, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? But I
mm-hmm.
know that after I do it for really a short amount of time, like let's say I do tarot 4 days a week just as a
Hmm.
one card pull, it
Yeah.
will literally start telling me like, oh, Kente gonna call you about his job.
Hmm.
I don't see what the fuck. What? And then lo and behold, like 9 o'clock at night, you'll be like, man, these motherfuckers tripping at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw a man, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll see like a man who's having
Hmm.
difficulty at work.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna go to work and be having some issues with a client. You know what I mean? It won't, no,
Uh-huh.
it ain't about you.
Yeah.
It's about
Right.
you need to help somebody else. And so
Right.
I was like, okay. So now I'm
Right.
doing the I Ching because it's the first divination I started out with Mama Divan, like before I was even with Mommy Wata Healer Society. So I started
Yeah.
I Ching when I was 19. So I was
Mm,
like,
okay.
go back, you know what I'm saying, to this. And I stopped doing the I Ching because it get the readings were so accurate, they used to make me mad because I told you I got control issues.
Yeah.
So I'd be this is not good. And I'm still casting like it's gonna change, it's gonna change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
23, 24. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
Hmm.
I know. And I got mad at her
Right.
because she was
Mm.
telling me the truth.
Mm.
And I was
Damn.
like, yeah, go back to the thing that was like consistently telling you the truth, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah,
Um,
that's yeah. It's
yeah,
all gonna
and
circle right back around anyway
yep,
to the truth.
it 100% does. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why you was being stubborn. I used to do the I Ching right after I made mommy, and after you make mommy, a lot of times because you have to, shift alignment, like you'll lose your job, like your money just goes to shit sometimes for
Mm.
different people. And mine was going to shit
Yeah.
because I hadn't started my business, and that's what they wanted me to do. So they like
Yeah.
literally got me fired from like my social work job,
Wow.
and I had to go back to doing hair. And then within
Yeah.
like months of me doing hair, then I started at the natural hair salon. I mean, I was
Wow.
already doing hair. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like it just like it rolled fast. You know what I'm saying?
But
After
you wasn't doing it like to that point. Like you started doing it more after.
yes, more after. So
Yeah.
like from 14 all the way through college and everything, like that would always be my part-time gig. I never took it seriously. And so I would
Mm.
do it like
Even.
after class, I would go and shampoo and
Yeah.
whatever at a salon. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is fun,
Yeah.
whatever. And so when I went to college, though, I wanted to go into like social work and stuff. So that's what I did. I pursued
Yeah.
the whole thing all the way through. And so once I got out, I got me a little job and everything. And I would still do hair, again,
Yeah.
like this is just a means for me to get to where I'm really supposed to go, not realizing
Yeah.
the whole time it was where I was supposed to go.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I quit the salon job, but I would just work there on the weekends. So I'll be working like
Yeah.
literally like 6 days a week, and I had Khalil.
Hmm.
So, so after I
Yeah.
made mommy, I got fired from the social work job, and all I had
Hmm.
was a salon. And so,
Hmm.
like after like I think it was like a couple of months, I'm like looking for jobs, and the salon job was like, "Well, you want to just come on here full time?" And I was like, "Oh, thank
Yeah.
you," because all I had was my refund check from
Yeah.
the government. So I was like,
Yeah.
"This is only gonna get me through for like 2 months."
Yeah.
Time when rent was $400, but
Right. The days of
and
old.
so I went back to work at the salon full time, and then I want to say within however many months, my friend, because I was disgusted, I was at a white hair salon and I hated.
Mm.
And so my friend was like, "Hey, I know this lady who opened up a natural hair salon. You should go check her out. I met her at a market, and she was real nice." And
Hmm.
that was it.
Mm.
I literally had
Yeah.
dreams about the shit, like all kinds of shit. It was crazy. I had a boyfriend at the time and was like, "Yo, this shit is like I just drove past this place and this shit is about to
Hmm.
change my life. Like I know it's gonna change my life, and I think you need
Mm.
to get this shit together because if we're gonna be together, my life is about to take off." And that's what
Yeah.
happened. That's what happened. So, and it was all my mama Zogbe. When I went to go see her,
Hmm.
I was still in social work, I want to say, or whatever. And she told
Yeah.
me, "Oh no, they're saying you do something with your hands." And I was like,
Mm.
"Well, I do hair part time." She was like, "Oh, all you need to do is just put a sign up and put some products up like on a shelf or whatever, and your clients will just come. So just go and do that." I was like, "What? Girl, bye." Like, it was no way. Like, I was like, "No, no, no." Now, mama, she didn't know how like young and naive. I'd never been a part of anything.
Hmm.
I'm saying like I didn't really like I used to go to church sometimes with my grandparents.
Yeah.
No, nothing. You know what I mean? Like when they told me I had voodoo, I literally didn't even know what that meant. So then this
Mm.
lady is also telling me not only do you have the voodoo, but you should just go and just set up a shop in your house and put some products
Hmm.
and people will just come. Do you know
Mm.
neighbors started knocking on my door and being like, I heard you could do hair. And I still didn't trust the shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I still went to work for the other lady. I worked for her for about a year before I started
Oh
Honeycomb.
wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I still didn't believe her. And it ended up exactly like she said. I was in my
So
apartment.
what was the shift where you was like, okay, all right, this is it. I'm gonna let this other thing go.
When I was in the social work, um, it was horrible how much I could not affect change.
Hmm.
I was in a kids facility that was a step
Hmm.
down from jail. And
Yeah,
I wasn't a therapist. So I just
yeah,
worked as like, the big sister type thing.
right,
I
right.
saw them put kids on medication and them go crazy and then put them
Mm.
in solitary. I couldn't do that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, what? I saw adults who were severely burnt out put kids, like two grown men, put a little boy in a hold. You know what I mean? Have them fully down, like,
Hmm.
and you're trained to do that. Like they
Right.
trained me to take kids down, which is
Hmm.
for everybody, supposedly for everybody's safety. But then once I was out there, I was like, yo, this is what it's like out here.
Hmm.
And then what I noticed was if you heal the parent, the child doesn't even come out like this.
Hmm.
So how do I get to the parent? Because their cognition, the child's cognition at this point isn't even fully developed.
Right,
So they're doing literally nothing but like imitating. So
right,
I actually
right.
have they mama them in here, not them. And I can't talk
Hmm.
to the mama them because of
Right,
my position in it.
right,
And so
right.
I was like, this is horrible. And I
Yeah.
know that when I do hair and I talk to people, they tell
Hmm.
me their stories.
Right, right.
And I can just talk to them and we can develop that therapeutic rapport basically is what I'm taught in school now.
Hmm.
And that's what changed it for me. And I didn't care who it was. So at the time I was
Yeah.
at White Hair Salon, but at the time I was like, fuck, I don't even care. Just get me the fuck out of here from beating kids who are going
Yeah.
crazy. you know, and I don't normally I would see getting fired as such a devastating thing, but it felt like such a relief.
Yeah,
So that's how I
yeah,
knew that it was okay,
yeah.
that I wasn't like, failing my family and stuff.
Right.
So so yeah, that's what changed it. And then once I went into natural hair, you know what I mean, that shortly thereafter, I was like, yeah, I didn't even know that was possible. Like when she was saying like, oh, meet this lady, she started a natural hair salon. I'm like, what do they do? What do they do?
Wow.
Natural
That's
hair. It was,
crazy to hear too. I mean,
yeah,
I guess at
right.
some point it had to be introduced and it would be new, but that's
right.
just crazy to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing with sound healing. That's what I told my mama. I was like, wait.
Uh,
I was like, you just wait. I said, the shit that these spirits be making me do is always
uh,
like a decade and a half before the shit pop.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for
And that's
sure.
what happened. Like she called me earlier this year. She said, Shayna, do you know that sound healing is a part of our medical like treatment plans now? She was like, and when I
Hmm.
saw it, I was like, my daughter does this. Like I told you, mom. I told you. Like
Yeah,
I got this some type of, these spirits be on that super, that what do you call it? Super future shit.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Stepping in the future. Yeah.
yeah. After this is when I was really able to connect with the Dogon. Like I can literally
Right.
just like and get information from them now. I didn't even know who they was. I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I have been talking about them in um college. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
hadn't really like thought that I could like energetically connect with the Dogon. Like, what?
Right. But what's
And when
dope is that you ran across it, so when it was time, you were familiar.
I was familiar. That's
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely what it was. And I was like, okay, now this is on some other shit.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, I see it. I see the full circle.
yeah. I was like, this is pretty wild. But it's like you were like we were talking about earlier, like reading so much, but not having any like application towards it. You're just like, oh,
Hmm.
it's a story. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But then when
Right.
you actually experience those spirits and
Hmm.
you then understand how the human people got their information, how our ancestors got the information, and you're able to do that in this current time that's so oppressive.
Right.
It's like,
Right. Right. Hmm.
yeah, it's really, 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 really nuts. And how about a mentee of mine was like, is on Bobby Hemmett? I was like, man,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, Bobby Hemmett, I listen to him all the time. He always talks about the stuff that you talk about. And I was like, I know. I know. I was
Love
like,
Bobby, man. Love Bobby.
I used to be looking at him like, who is this guy?
Yes, sir. What up, Bobby?
But yeah, I I totally get even everything he was talking about, where I was just like, I to this day, I don't know how Bobby Hemmett even got overweight. Like the
Mm,
information that you get,
mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying, on his level, so
mm-hmm,
naturally,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then the mystery, you know what I mean? It's I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. But it's luckily we still have a lot of his stuff, and it's, I mean, that we can teach to our children and be like, just watch this,
Mm.
just listen to this, okay?
Right, right. Oh yeah, you need to listen to this. I
Yeah,
say.
because the shit, everything he talking about is true 99,
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
free information. You want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Do it. So yeah, that was another full circle moment. You know what I mean? Especially for a
Yeah,
woman. You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was really
Wow,
good.
that's dope. That's dope.
All right, I done chatted y'all up.
Word. Appreciate it.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Fawn is new to our world, Kente. New-ish. She's been working with me for a few years, but
Mm-hmm,
the deeper esoteric stuff that you and I like really get and understand, she's
mm-hmm.
being introduced to by trial by fire.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That's a
um,
good way.
yeah, she's a brilliant leader and activist on the East Coast, and they
Oh,
done,
word.
you know, wore her down to pieces. So she,
Mm.
okay, let me.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Now I appreciate everything that you shared. I can definitely there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Even y'all, this last part with the herbs and the psilocybin and all that. You know how many folks is like, don't do that shit, Shayna? And I was like, yo, if you're going through something that like what Fawn is going through, where it's a trial by fire, you might
Yeah.
need some mushrooms just to take the fucking veil off. Instead of being like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
takes 20 fucking years to look herself
Mm-hmm.
in the mirror and say, this is who I am. Like 10 years wiped off just with THC or psilocybin so that you can just relax into that space, you know? Um, and I didn't realize how much we are scared of it. So I want to be able to help that research as well, along with the sounds, along with the sound frequency.
And if I may, just why do we think that? Why do we feel that way? Why do we feel THC or these other, substances are so bad?
The
But
same reason light skinned girls are more attractive.
yeah, well, it's a conditioning.
It's a
It's a
condition.
condition. And just
It's
knowing
a
that, it's like, okay, like at least some of the fear maybe,
total.
can subside, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Baby,
like
if you ain't
this is
in
why.
church and going to work and it's 95 and making sure you paying these
Right.
taxes, you ain't shit.
Right, right. And you're going to hell.
And you're going to hell
Ooh, crazy,
on top
crazy.
game. So
Hmm.
living in the South, it's I
Yeah.
felt like I was walking through mud for most of my time there
Hmm.
because you just literally can't talk to them about nothing. Ain't
Hmm.
going to church, shut up. And then
Right.
2020 happened and they were like, wait, okay.
Mm.
So when my grandma used to pray them certain hymns, that was magic. Yes, nigga.
Mhm.
When oh, so you saying when she got the Holy Ghost, that was a trance? Yes, nigga. That was a trance. The same trance that we get in voodoo is no different because we ain't
Right.
changed none. We've only suppressed and
Yeah.
been oppressed.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't surprised when I was surprised because the people that I told were my circle. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I was surprised, but that circle is more of like the yoga, like what they know is that they can do breath work and you can do the
Yeah.
breath work and get the same results as you will with like THC and different stuff like that. So they'd already been practicing. But I was like, if you do not practice breath work and you're not a 20-year yogi,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you use a cheat code that comes from nature that indigenous people been using for since them yogis was probably using?
Yeah. I mean, and it's all just it's tapping into yourself.
It's
You
all
know,
tapping
you
into
gotta
nature.
be afraid of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then a lot of the I call it the chemical campaign. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So they what they do now, what I'm seeing in the professional world is they align like they're trying to put ketamine with like a THC or a ketamine with a psilocybin. Not
Hmm.
together, but I'm saying they try to align
Hmm.
them and they're not
Right.
aligned.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, no, y'all still trying to do the fucking chemical shit. Don't
Right.
go in the woods and get you a damn mushroom and pick the shit up. Like, why is it so hard? Go and get a pot and put the little seed in it and weed will grow and then take it. Why does it have to be in a lab? Why does everything have to be a consumer, a consumer thing on the market? Like, no. So that's, I think, gonna hinder it too because they're thinking that in order to get psilocybin they have to go to the cannabis store and get the little chocolates because it's literally illegal to do anything else. So make it make sense. They're still doing the same shit.
Yeah. Let's control it. Let's tax it. Let's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. um
Same. Same. So,
and now a lot of the mushroom people will just sell you the kits to make your own mushrooms at home.
mm,
So it's like, yeah, that makes sense if you live in like Chicago, you know.
right.
I'm in Asheville, like, yeah, of course I can go and get a mushroom, but like you in the middle of Chicago in the hood, like, nah, but you can
Right.
still just make them just as easy inside,
Hmm.
and naturally grow. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely want to be like a champion for that. That's,
Yeah.
you remember going to the sweat lodges and doing all the stuff that we've
Yeah.
been doing for years. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize people were coming to my sound baths and they had already microdosed because they were
Mm.
afraid that I was, you know what I mean, like gonna judge or something like that. Because everybody still has
Oh,
the fear of
yeah.
the, you know what I mean, like so you've been
Right.
like having a great time,
Uh,
and keeping it ceremonial. So that's the other thing, like
hmm.
being here and talking to all the people who are into psychedelics. That
Hmm.
like the white people talk to me about like going to raves and doing this and doing that, and I was like, I've never done psychedelics outside of a ceremonial
Hmm.
thing. And they're looking at me like,
Hmm.
what? It's like, yeah, I'm not going to Burning Man with y'all. I mean, I would love to go to Burning Man, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
On your own terms. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's always been that for me. So I don't know
Mm.
about the recreational uses of it really at all. And I
Right.
really actually don't know why that would be fun. I don't know. I don't know. Because when you get on, if you get to mushrooms in a certain point, it makes you so one with the universe. I just wouldn't want to be around a whole bunch of stinking ass people at a
Bumping
festival.
into you. Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to do it. Um, so yeah, that's been a thing that I'm like slowly, you know, hopefully helping people to heal themselves with,
Yeah.
along with the sound frequencies. So they too can talk to the Doggone Warriors and get all of their get all the downloads they need.
How come?
What?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he told somebody else. Okay. All right, y'all. It's 12:46. We were supposed to have been out 30 minutes ago.
Um, y'all ladies have an excellent week, Sunday.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy
Thank
the rest of
you,
your day.
too.
All
Talk
right.
to you
Hopefully I'll see
soon.
y'all soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.
I'm saying